So I've had multiple requests to show you how I use the food that we get from the mobile food pantry and the regular food pantry. I got nothing. So I'm going to share with you how I'm using our mobile food pantry for this week. This week we got a couple of like fruit containers, and we separated some of that into, I think it was like strawberry and cantaloupe in a bag. Or no, I think my daughter mixed all of them. She did the strawberry and the pineapple and the cantaloupe, but I think there was one other one. She mixed that as life. You're just gonna get real life. She mixed that and put them into Ziploc bags for smoothies, and then I'm going to share with you what I'm going to make with the apples. Okay, so I'm going to be making, and I will, as always, leave the recipe down below. I'm going to be making the cinnamon apple French toast. Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings are early mornings for us. I have 2 kids that are taking a medical class. And that starts anywhere between 7 and 7:30 in the mornings on Saturday. So, I'm going to make this, not using day old French bread. I'm going to use our gluten-free bread. And I'm going to be making this recipe. And I will share with you how this turns out. That is a very hot pan. This is also from the local food pantry, and I need a 1.5 cups of milk. So we're going to use this up. My measuring cup has not been washed, so good old mason jar. We'll find the this is a 2-cup one, so we're going to find the 1.5 cup line. And a splash of vanilla. Yeah, nice little splash. Alright, wait, oh, let me know when you put them down, honey. And this goes into the fridge overnight, and we'll pop it in the oven first thing in the morning. Okay, so
today.
Would you like to do what we're making today?
No, I'm good. I'm just intimidating
me. You're intimidating me, are you? Antagonizing? Is that the word? Antagonizing? Okay. Alright. Today we are using food from the mobile food pantry. So here in my beautiful cast iron pan, which, by the way, I've had a couple of questions about this cast iron pan now. This thing is huge. Like, here's my hand. Oh, that's a very hot hand. Here's my hand. Like, this thing is huge. It's the biggest one I can find. It is not in the cooking section at Walmart. This is in the camping section at Walmart. In the cooking section at Walmart, they're going to charge you over $50. In the camping section of Walmart, they only charge $25. No joke. Go to the camping section. Get your cast iron there. So much more affordable. And then if you can find them at thrift stores and yard sales and other things, or like my son did in a dumpster, even more of a score. Okay, so back to the cast iron. We have a pound of ground sausage. We have some sesame oil. We have some carrots from the mobile food pantry. I just shred them up. And then we are cutting up cabbage to add to this egg roll in a bowl. That's what I'm making. I am making egg roll in a bowl. And this is one of my favorite things. It's super simple, super easy. It just takes a while for the cabbage to cook down. So that is what we're having today. This is one of our favorite things to do when I have cabbage. Oh, and it also has an onion from the food pantry. And then we will add some green onion. Yeah, go ahead. We will add some green onion from our garden. So this, what my daughter just poured in, that is garlic and ginger and soy sauce. And it flavors it up. I will also do some pepper. I will not do any salt because the ground sausage is salty and then the liquid aminos is salty. Saute. So we're going to get that going. I like to add mushrooms to it. I have a daughter that does not like mushrooms. So I will make this all up, portion hers out, and then I will open up a can of mushrooms that I actually canned myself and add it to here. So that's what we're going to have for dinner. And that is another meal that we make from the food using the ingredients from the mobile food pantry. Here is another recipe using all of the mobile food pantry items. So I'll try to remember everything that's in here. So in last week's mobile food pantry video, I also shared with you a meat haul. And in there was some ground beef. So in here is some ground beef. There is some of the cabbage that we got from the mobile food pantry. There is an onion that there is an onion in here from the mobile food pantry. And some garlic. You start with browning the meat and the onion and the garlic. Then you add some tomatoes. We added some tomato sauce. We added some zucchini. We cooked it all up, mixed it all up, added a little bit of soy sauce, and it turned out kind of like a more tomato Asian-inspired Mongolian beef dish. So I am very much if you give a mouse a cookie kind of personality. So I'm working on, the chili. And so we got to all of the grease, the beef grease that cooks out of the beef. Oh gosh. And then I was like, I wonder if I could use that in any way, just because I know people make tallow from that. I know there's a lot. So I was like, you know what? This probably would flavor up something like cabbage really well. And I have half a head of cabbage in the fridge. Now, by the time you see this, we'll be back. But tomorrow, we are leaving for a weekend trip. My husband is asked to be a guest pastor, so we get to go and do that. So we'll be gone. And I like to clean out the fridge before we head out and do that. So we had this half a head of cabbage. It's a huge cabbage. And so I just cut it all up. I added it to this with 3 tiny little onions. Like they were half the size of what I call a small onion. I think that's a small onion. And they were about half that size, easily. So I cut up about 3 of them and added it to there to kind of give it a little bit of flavor. I don't know what else I'm going to add to this. I'm pretty sure I've got some kielbasa in the fridge. And I'll probably add some kielbasa. And we're going to see just kind of what else happens with this. But there's going to be dinner. So, yeah, I'm in the process of making chili. Making dinner using up the grease from the beef, using the cabbage from the food pantry, using onions from the food pantry, kielbasa I bought. And we're going to see where this goes. So still using items up and making delicious, I hope, meals for my family. Okay, so I went online and I just looked like how to flavor cabbage meals, and I found a recipe. I will try to link it down below. I'll be honest, I may not remember it, but or know how to find it again. So what I'm just gonna tell you what I did. So I just found it. I looked up. I literally Googled how to flavor sautéed cabbage, and this recipe said use garlic, paprika, salt and pepper, and bacon. And, oh, an onion. And I'm like, well, instead of the bacon, I'm going to do this kielbasa. Now, this actually isn't kielbasa. I found this in the back of the fridge and I forgot about it. My sister-in-law gave this to me when they were here and I completely forgot about it. So, this is a 6-pack. So, I just chopped up 3. I'm going to put it in here. That's going to be our bacon. And then, because I told you, if you give a mom a cookie, or if you give a mouse a cookie, or if you give mom a task, you know, as I was going through the fridge, I found some sweet potatoes that we made up for the baby that I babysit. And I'm like, these aren't going to last another 4 days. So what can I do with sweet potatoes? I really don't want to make it like in here. These are mush. Like they're mush sweet potatoes so that the little baby can eat it. And believe it or not, my family isn't into the sweet potatoes mashed. It's kind of almost a gag reflex, and I understand. I kind of have the same thing. When I want a mashed potato, I want a mashed potato. I really don't want a mashed sweet potato. However, Doug and Stacy has like this oldest bread recipe ever, something like that, where you use where you use flour and sweet potato and I think one other ingredient, I don't remember what. And you make like a tortilla with. And I was like, well, that might go really well with this. So I'm also going to use the sweet potatoes that we got from the food pantry to make a side dish to go with this. And at one point, we're actually going to get this chili done. But in the meantime, I'm working on dinner. My husband was awesome. He came home from work and I was like, honey, please, 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 can I have an hour of silence? Please, just 1 hour of silence. Can you take them to the park? Here's a whole like picnic for you, carrots and some nuts and some like fruit roll-ups. Can you please just take them to the park for an hour? And he did. So that is just kind of giving me some peace and quiet to kind of do some things. It's so nice. But it means that I'm able to think. So I'm finding all the stuff that I need to get done before we leave tomorrow. Because that's how life works. Well, here's the final product. I used the off-grid with Doug and Stacy recipe to make the sweet potato tortilla. I'll let you know what my husband thinks of it. Got another one cooking. We have the kielbasa yumminess with cabbage and some of the green beans from the food pantry. That looks like a really good one. Oh, for gluten-free, I use spelt flour. Not my Bob's Red Mill gluten-free flour. I just use spelt. Needs a little bit more flour to kind of work with it. It's a little fun, but I think I'll get the hang of it here soon. I did it. I did all the green beans. 10-quart bags of green beans. Good night. Those are really good, by the way.